Hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to our webinar series, G Data Patch Management. My name is Mark Kowalski. I'm International Pre-Sales Consultant with G Data Software. Before we get into the topics, we are going to start with a few things. First, if you have any questions regarding the presentation, please use the panel and ask the question. I will try to answer them later on after the presentation. If you have further questions or you just get some new questions to your head, just ask them via email. I will gladly answer them later on. You can also download this presentation at the handout. And two more things, the webinar will be recorded and the recording will be available for download afterwards. All right, before we get to the G Data Patch Management itself, we're going to take a short excursus on why it is important to patch your system. As you can see, this is a typical life cycle of a zero-day vulnerability. It starts at the first point when the vulnerability is introduced to the system, which might happen if you run an update or a patch that should patch another maybe zero-day vulnerability. And by this patching process, a new opening is created. This opening will be aimed at to exploit. And after some time, this new opening, the vulnerability, is discovered by the vendor itself. The next step would be that the vendor tries to close this opening, maybe temporarily by shutting down processes or shutting down certain communication ports to temporarily close those openings or vulnerabilities. Next step would be that the antivirus signatures will be released. After that, the patch will be deployed to the system. The first part, until the vendor closes this opening, is called a zero-day attack. Everything that happens beyond this point is a so-called follow-on attack. And this whole process is a window of exposure that may be days, months, or even years, depending on how big the vulnerability is or how fast it can be detected by the vendor or other people who might use the software. It is important generally to patch your software, not only to fix bugs within it, might cause performance issues or the software itself doesn't work properly. It also closes, like I already said, vulnerabilities and fixes security issues. In 2012, more than 70% of those malware activities worldwide were aiming at those zero-day attacks or were based on zero-day attacks. And you might ask yourself, okay, is it really that bad? My answer to that one would be a few screenshots I took this morning regarding the last 2 months. As you can see, yes, it is that bad, and people are using those exploits to attack systems, to steal data, to maybe shut down your computer or infect your system, or any kinds of ways you can get in trouble with malware is exploited by those people who are aiming at those zero-day attacks. What the general problem is to reduce this window of exposure is that any application, like really any application on your system, maybe the operating itself or any other application, can contain a vulnerability that can be exploited. There are also many different updaters out there, official, unofficial updaters, third-party updaters, maybe updaters who have some patches, but not all of them, and that may be a problem as well, because not everything can be fixed during this process. As you can see, it's not only XP that might be aimed at, but also other programs like Office or Adobe, the usual programs that is usually installed in every system. The next problem is that the user itself decides if this update is performed. I think everybody knows it when you start up your computer and the Adobe update program pops up and says, hey, I've got an update, do you want to run the update now? Most of us will just say no, I just want to do my work and go on. And by this step, the update will be postponed or maybe never ever deployed to the system. And the last problem, that not all PCs within a network are on the same page, because maybe example, some people within a network might still use Windows XP on their computers, others are already using Windows 10, another one's using Windows 7, and just based on this one, people are having different dates or different deployments within the system, so there might be vulnerabilities throughout the whole system on different levels. A way to solve this is a centralized automatic patch management that provides those patches for most systems that can close down those gaps. This is where our software comes in. The G DATA PatchManager is an additional component that can be added to any business solution we have, and this patch manager contains more than 15,000 patches and full installers to all systems. And this enables the administrator to complete the processing of the patch management lifecycle, as you can see on the right. Just like you can see, the vulnerability, sorry, that shouldn't happen. Whoops, there you go, sorry about that. The vulnerability details will be provided from the vendors. The network will be scanned. The vulnerable systems can be identified, and furthermore, the patches can be downloaded and deployed to the machines. And in the end, the status report can be created on how this patch management or how these updates have been rolled out to the network. As you can see, this is the management console from our B2B software. It shows the patch manager, and on the bottom you can see different groups of vendors who offer patches that are, in this case, ordered by priority and the release date. This is a screenshot of the Adobe vendor. It shows all these updates, available updates, and they will be added to this list as soon as they are released. For example, you can just look on a single patch, and this single patch might have another description, so you can see in detail what will be patched by deploying this update. In this case, it was a vulnerability in at Flash Player 11.1.102.63 and earlier versions. Next step, scanning the network. You've decided that you want to check for dope patches by priority and the release dates, and you've added those filters to select certain patches that you're concerned with. These will be displayed on the console. And you can check those updates for applicability. If they are applicable, they can be patched instantly. You can also block patches or just show and tell those properties of those single updates. You will be asked to name your applicability job if you want to check first if these patches can be deployed to the system. By this, you can check on which system you want to run this applicability scan, and you can schedule it immediately, once, hourly, daily, as the usual terms. As soon as you have created this job, this task will be implemented within the task section. So you can see this status not previously run will be changed after you've identified possible vulnerable systems. You've selected the group of the MMS servers, and you will see the status overview, which programs or which machines can receive updates, and those updates will be displayed at not yet installed with two priorities, normal or high priority. Next step would be to download and deploy those patches. An important thing, the database is not within the console itself. It will be only downloaded on demand, so you don't have to download the whole 15,000 or more patches to your system. That's not the case. Just a hint. All right, you've selected a patch that should be installed. You right-click on this patch and select Install Patches. This will create another task for this certain client on which you can name the job as well, and to plan when this update should be rolled out. Depending on if you're in the middle of the workday or this update should be deployed within the evening, this is manageable. Yes, and it's shown waiting to execute in the taskbar. And as soon as the update has been executed and rolled out, you can see the last execution of this update and the status. In this case, it was completed. The patch management can be enabled generally to run manually, automatically, only for patch applicability for high priority patches, or the automatically installment of those high priority patches. These settings can be found within the settings, be surprised. And like I said, those three options are available for you. As soon as everything has been completed, you can create reports, because if you have certain people you have to report to, you can generate those status reports on how these updates have been rolled out. In this case, you go to the report manager, select the patch that you want to report or the patches that you want to report, and click on the notepad with the plus. You can define your report in the next step. by naming it, in which language it should be displayed, who should receive this report, and how often this report should be created. In this case, you just say the installed patches and click on New. You select the patch manager and the executed patches by priority, for example, in this case. And, oh, sorry, I forgot. You can use different outputs. This table in this next example is just the first thing. You can also use bar charts, 3D bar charts, pie charts, any kinds of charts that make the managers happy. This is possible. And this would be the combined patch report on those settings you've put up before that. To sum it up, if you're dealing with internal policies or requirements that makes patch management or manageable, this is the way to go. This is very easy to handle, and you should use it if you can. The reporting is very easy as well. As you've seen, you can create those charts on the fly. It's not really hard. You can offer a full supportable network, because if you don't patch a network, it becomes unsupportable. Just because I've used a certain example, like you're installing a very nice alarm system to your house, and you just leave the door and the windows open, you are not protected. In this case, your network will never be protected and it becomes unsupportable. The security updates can be up to date, and this complements also the regular antivirus solutions. Example, crypto lockers are only really manageable if you have the latest antivirus signatures and the system that is up to date. That's the only way to protect yourself against those things. And last but not least, also third-party apps can be managed within the patch manager itself, so you can roll out those updates just as easy as those updates for the operating systems. Well, this sums it up. If you have any questions, I would gladly answer them. Okay, we'll just wait for a moment or two. Okay, if there are further questions regarding the patch management, feel free to contact us at int-presales@gdatasoftware.com, and as soon as you will ask the question, I will get in touch with you as soon as possible. Thank you for your attention. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and see you next time.